Next on Stampede.
Soccer coach stranded in Scotland.
I just want them to know that nothing really has changed from between now and when Lily was here.
Men's head soccer coach David Lilly stuck after his visa was denied to return to the U.S.
Plus, have you heard about the Buff Nation Crush Station Twitter account? We sat down in an exclusive interview to find out who was behind the account.
And Milligan now has a new payment policy regarding tuition.
In sports, we have the latest scores along with women's and men's AAC matchups.
And later, I'll tell you all the lingo all freshman students should know.
These stories and more are coming up next.
StampedeTV begins now.
Welcome to Stampede TV. I'm Elijah Manship.
And I'm Erin Donovan. We begin with the story Stampede TV's Kayla Baker has been following. She joins us now with more.
Elijah and Erin, men's soccer coach David Lilly will no longer be serving as head coach for the Buffs. His visa has been denied and Lilly is currently stuck in Scotland. With only 4 games into the season, the team is facing a major transition. Assistant coach Kyle Finlay will step in as interim head coach. With the team off to a 3-1 start, Finlay looks to continue the team's success.
Force back, good, keep it backwards.
Kyle Finlay, the new head coach of the Milligan men's soccer team. This is the England native's first head coaching job. Finlay takes over after head coach David Lilly is denied his visa to return to the U.S. He plans to continue to build the program as head coach.
Nothing really has changed from between now and when Lily was here. We're still working towards building this program to much more than it was before. We want to get back to the powerhouse that this soccer program was around 10 years ago when they were winning 3 out of 4 conference championships. That's what we want. It's a process. Within a few years we want to get back to that, so whether it's me in charge, someone else, whether Lily manages to come back, whatever it is, that's what we're building towards. So
Finlay says the players' reaction to the news about Lily was better than expected.
Pleased with the way they reacted. The mood after the meeting was a bit mixed, but that night we went and practiced, and the night after we practiced again, and the tempo, the intensity, it was fantastic. So couldn't be happy with their reaction so far, and we'll tell a lot when we come into the game tomorrow.
Finlay will coach for the remainder of the season and seems to be liking his new title as head coach.
It's a new experience, and I think I'm enjoying it pretty much so far. So
Kayla Baker, Stampede TV. Athletic Director Mark Fox and President Greer said the college will continue working to bring Lily back in the future. We'll continue to follow the story and bring you more information as it comes available. Erin and Elijah?
Thanks, Kayla.
With Suicide Prevention Week wrapping up on campus, we thought we'd tell you about a helpful resource. We have our very own counseling center located right here on campus. The Counseling Center is a free resource available to all students, faculty, and staff. It's located at the Taylor Phillips House next to the soccer fields. We met with one of the staff on hand to find out just how important the Counseling Center is. According to the director, nearly 25% of our student body use this resource each year. The Counseling Center deals with multiple issues and is here to help you.
Well, the Milligan Counseling Center here on campus can help with all kinds of problems. Problems of life, you're having trouble talking with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, things like that, all the way up to losing a parent or experiencing sexual assault on campus.
The center is open Monday through Friday by appointment only.
Do you pay for your tuition? If so, you may be affected by the new payment policy. The policy went into effect on August 1st.
The new payment plan calls for a convenience fee if payments are made on a debit or credit card. The preferred payment is by check or cash.
Financial aid says this new policy should allow for quicker transactions to be made. For more information about the new payment policy, visit your self-service account or call the financial aid office.
Twerp Week, a tradition that dates back to the 1950s. I caught up with students this week and figured out what the event was about. It's a week of events hosted by the Campus Activities Board where the women are required to pay. This year, the lineup consisted of Sundays, bowling, skating, movie night, trivia, and a dance. Campus Activities Director Jason Onks says the tradition remains strong this year.
The purpose is really just to build community and give people the opportunity to meet new people and give others the opportunity to learn more about the people that are asking them out.
If you missed Twerp Week, be sure to take part in next year's campus activities has already started planning.
With dangerous acts on the rise, we want to make sure you know what to do in case of an emergency.
We reached out to campus security and asked what they do to help keep us safe.
Security Officer Richard Whitaker, who's been employed for 5 years, says his main goal is to help the students any way he can.
Last semester, campus security hours were extended to better ensure safety for students.
Director and Property of Risk Management, Brett Nipper, said the extension was just to keep an eye out for the campus.
Nipper says the president of the guards on campus can really make a difference in not only a criminal incident, but the events of maintenance issue as well.
In the event of an emergency, call campus security or 911.
Milligan now has a new Bible program.
Dr. Ronald Cassins has been selected to lead the college's new undergraduate ministry leadership program.
The new program allows undergraduate students to focus on specific interests in one of several majors.
Cassins says the program will be a way to develop the next generation of leaders in the church.
Students can save both time and money by completing both a bachelor's and a master's of divinity in only 6 years.
The fall 2018 tutoring schedule is now available. Subjects such as humanities, Bible, biology, and math are just a few of the subjects offered. Students are encouraged to use this resource located in the Welshmer Room in the library. For the full 2018 schedule, visit milligan.edu. Any questions regarding the schedule, contact Director of Student Success and Disabilities, Heather Jackson.
Beginning in 2019, Milligan College's Bachelor of Nursing degree will be offered online. The program is designed for working registered nurses who want to get their Bachelor's of Science. This program will be more affordable and convenient for students. Chair of Milligan's nursing program, Dr. Melina Collins, says there's an increasing demand for RNs at the bachelor level. The program is designed for adults who have completed 27 or more credit hours and are employed as an RN. The degree completion process takes about 19 months.
After the break, we'll talk with Luke Dove about the men's soccer team's success.
And later, we find out what Milligan freshmen need to know. Stay tuned.
Graduation. It's one of the biggest moments for each of us. But overcrowding meant that we could no longer have just one ceremony. For some, this meant sharing the event with your entire family. For others, splitting up this community.
And I know it's not expected and change is hard, but we had this idea we would all matriculate together and we would all graduate together.
We provided you with a voice on an important issue because we're in this together. We are StampedeTV, Milligan's student-operated news source.
Chiru has no choice. She and millions like her walk miles a day for dirty water. But together, we can end their walk by providing clean water close by. Instead of spending hours walking to get water that makes them sick, girls can be in a classroom and moms will gain back time to care for their families. Sons and daughters can grow up strong, finally free of sicknesses. It's true. When you just add water, you change a life. Learn more at worldvision.org.
Welcome to Have You Heard? This week we're talking about the men's soccer team and how they're starting off so strong with a 4-1 record. Today I have with me Luke Dove. Luke, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
I just have a couple questions for you this week.
Sure.
We're going to start off with talking about last season. Last season, how did the team feel about the season?
Well, last season we're obviously disappointed with from a record standpoint and just the way everything went down. But we're past that. We're moving on, and we're excited for this current season.
Awesome. What have you done differently this year to prepare?
So we have a lot of new guys. That's one of the main things, and also we got new head coach and new coaching staff, and just really have tried to work really hard to shift the culture around Milligan men's soccer and what that looks like and what it feels like, and we're seeing the results of that.
How do the freshmen feel going into this season?
I think they're excited. I think they don't necessarily know about the rough history we've had the last couple years, and so they just come in fresh and excited, and they've been huge for us coming off the bench and starting, and they've really been efficient and put in good work.
How do you feel now that you've started the season?
It's good to start the season. We didn't really know in preseason exactly how everything would go. We knew we had talent. We were excited. So it's exciting to see the rewards for some of that pay off. And obviously 4-1 is a good start. We go to another conference game on Wednesday, and all focus is on that. We're hoping to continue this streak throughout the rest of the season.
What are you most excited for this upcoming season?
As a senior, it's exciting for me to have a good season and try to end on a good season. So I'm excited that we're playing well, and it's excited to keep that going. And hopefully the conference tournament is the goal. So hopefully make a deep run in that and see what we can do.
What are you most nervous for this season?
probably the same thing, honestly. The playoffs is obviously a exciting and nerve-wracking time, and as a goalkeeper especially. So I'm a little nervous for that, and then obviously seeing the team and everyone's reaction to the news about our coach is difficult, but we're trying to react well and bounce back positive, and it's going well.
Do you have an opponent you're most nervous about? There's some new additions to the AAC.
Obviously, the conference guys are always the ones that are the toughest and that we have the most history with. Bluefield especially is one of those that we have circled on the calendar for a number of reasons. But honestly, a lot of the guys are so new that it's kind of a new batch, a new day for us. So we're excited to make some new history.
Anything else you want to add?
No, we just hope you guys come out and support us, and we thank everyone that comes out every week through all the weather and everything else, and we hope to keep winning for y'all and keep Milligan men's soccer rolling.
When's the next home game?
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. All right. Be sure to check out our next newscast on October 19th as we introduce our new segment, Making a Difference. The latest national and world news is coming up, and later we will take you off campus to a new attraction close to the Tweetsie Trail. More StampedeTV is after this.
Hammocks. They're one of our favorite pastimes. Student leaders promise new mounts behind dorms to make things even easier.
It's going to allow for hopefully 14 hammocks.
But when a year passed with no mounts, we asked why.
The hammock mounts that had not been installed a year after the plan was announced.
Those interview requests were declined. The very next morning, those mounts were installed. We stuck with the story until the very end, because we are in this together. We are StampedeTV, Milligan's student-operated news source.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
President Trump is getting a first-hand look at the damage left behind by Hurricane Florence.
The storm may have disappeared, but the threat is far from over in Carolinas.
Anything I can do, you all know where to call me.
It's been nearly 1 week since Hurricane Florence made landfall near Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, and the effects of that storm are still being felt. Today, President Donald Trump visited storm-torn areas in the Carolinas.
Washington is with you. Trump is with you. We are all with you 100%, and we'll get through it.
Residents in North and South Carolina are still grappling with rising floodwaters and massive storm damage following Hurricane Florence.
We will be there 100%, and all of the folks from the federal government that are around the table, they're confirming it.
Officials are urging residents to be patient and to be ready for the long haul.
This event's not over. The rivers are still cresting, and so we still have a lot of work to do when it comes to the life safety and life sustainment mission.
The challenge now for state and federal officials is providing residents with the resources they need, from the thousands of people still in shelters to the tens of thousands of people who are impacted by the storm. Flooding is crippling small businesses and farmers.
Our state took a gut punch, Mr. President, and our people are still reeling.
I'm Andy Rose reporting.
A Girl Scouts treasurer in California is under arrest.
The official is accused of stealing tens of thousands of dollars from the Scouts and the Beverly Hills Cancer Center.
They're just really an all-American family as far as I can see. I mean, just outstanding.
Lou Beatty Jr. is dumbfounded. His neighbor, 52-year-old Patricia Caucione, known for decades of volunteer work with the Girl Scouts, was quietly arrested Monday. The accusation, stealing nearly $90,000 from nonprofits.
The Girl Scouts of USA approached our detectives and believed that there was a theft of their funds.
That was a year and a half ago. Sergeant David Chambers says fraud and cybercrimes detectives immediately began investigating. Caucione was a trusted Girl Scout treasurer who controlled bank accounts. Detectives now believe that over 5 years, she embezzled $58,000. Caucione also served as CFO of the Beverly Hills Cancer Center. Investigators think she used that position to heist another $30,000.
We do a lot of embezzlement. Most of the time they involve a trusted employee, and usually when you have a trusted employee, they usually work by themselves.
Neighbors say they're most concerned about the Casion children. They say the well-respected family hosted big Girl Scout parties and was the first to help when needed. Sadly, detectives say their job now is to question whether any of it came from the goodness of the heart. Detectives believe Casion fundraised for everything from a high school booster club to a grieving neighbor's GoFundMe account. They're looking closely at all of it and encouraging anyone who thinks they may have been targeted to contact detectives. Reporting here from Santa Clarita, Cara Finstrom, KCAL 9 News.
This past week, I went out to help the freshmen understand some of Milligan College's lingo.
Let's take a look at what our Milligan students had to share.
A buff what? Ring by when? Milligan community uses some language that's common to us, but to incoming freshmen can be kind of confusing. So I'm hitting the streets to ask you guys, what words do you think Milligan freshmen need to know? All right, I'm here with
Sarah
and
Matthew Hagen.
And today we're figuring out what words do Milligan freshmen need to know. What word do you got?
Creaking. And creaking is when someone gets engaged. Mostly this happens during the spring or in the fall like it's now. But creaking is when you get engaged and then all your friends come and plan your like a little creaking attack and they creak you down there at the creek below. So don't get engaged just yet.
Excellent definition. And what do we got over here?
Africa by Toto. A beautiful song.
A Milligan classic. Thanks, friends. All right, I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Kara Blanton.
And what's one word you think Milligan freshmen need to know?
I think that all Milligan freshmen should know the word buff cookie. Being an employee at the Grill, a buff cookie is 12 individual cookies, and we put it in like a cast iron pan, and you bake it, and it comes out, it looks just like a huge, like just ginormous cookie, like everything that you would ever want, and then you put 2 scoops of ice cream on it, and it like a chocolate drizzle and then like a caramel drizzle and some whipped cream, and it's everything that you would need for like the night before an exam, like real late, especially like with all the humanities exams coming up. It's only like $6 if you split it with your friends, or if you want you can eat the whole thing yourself. I know that I could do that. So I think that all freshmen should know about it because it's not like a well-known thing, but it's very tasty and it's worth it. It's worth all the $6.
Thank you so much. I'm here with
Judy.
And Judy, what's one word you think Milligan freshmen need to know?
SFP. And if you don't know what SFP is, it's Milligan's way of forcing students to become spiritually formed.
You heard it here first. All right, I'm here with
Janae Boston
and
Mike Featherston.
All right, guys, what are some words Milligan freshmen need to know?
I'm going to go with Brutus, Erin. Brutus is our school mascot, our buffalo. He's freaking awesome.
All right, and over here we got?
Buff run.
And what's that?
You get buff naked and you run around campus a few times, you jump in the creek, and then you run back to your room.
All right, thanks guys. I'm here with
Brian Sackett Jr.
And what are some words that Milligan freshmen need to know?
Ooh, I got 2 things they need to know to not do. Ring by spring, that's not a thing. And don't wait to go to chapel till your senior year. You'll regret your life and be filled with chagrin.
All right, you heard it here first. So I'm here with
Graham.
And what is one word that you think Milligan freshmen need to know?
FOB.
And what's the definition of that?
The FOB is the faculty office building, and it's located right behind the grill.
You heard it here. Thanks, Graham. Kayla Baker joins us now with sports, and she has the details on the women's soccer team.
After the break, I'll tell you about the men and women's soccer AAC matchup, plus scores from the week. Sports is next.
A shooting on campus. It's something we hope will never happen. But it seems to be happening more and more often. We asked questions and discovered what you should do if it ever occurs here.
You could have 22 city officers in that vicinity within 10 minutes.
Now guidelines are posted in every building. It's potentially life-saving information because we're in this together. We're Stampede TV, Milligan student-operated news source.
You may not realize it, but these words, often used to describe someone with a mental health condition, can be very harmful. In a country where 1 in 5 people are affected by a mental health condition, it's time for all of us to step up and change the conversation. Just because someone's struggle isn't obvious on the outside doesn't mean they aren't hurting on the inside. We need to see the person, not the condition. Join with me, pledge to be stigma-free.
The women's soccer team fell short Wednesday night in an overtime effort, losing 2-1 against Reinhardt University. This is the Lady Buffs' third overtime loss of the season. The Lady Buffs were off to a slow start in the first half, but found momentum and carried it into the second half. Milligan opened up the second half, shooting out Reinhardt 16-2. Senior Amy Olvera tied the match 1-1 for the Buffs, making that her second goal of the season. Despite Milligan's efforts in outshooting Reinhardt 20-7, the Lady Buffs dropped the AAC matchup 2-1. Milligan returns to action for another AAC matchup on Saturday against Montreat at home at 5 p.m. Men's match to follow at 7. The men's soccer team also fell short Wednesday night against Reinhardt, losing 5-2. The Buffs fell behind early with 3 goals from Reinhardt in the first half. Milligan rallied in the second half with their 2 only goals of the game. Goals from Robert Fernandez-Garrido and Robel Hatt tied to bring the momentum for the Buffs. The efforts weren't enough as the Buffs outshot Reinhardt 21-10. The 2 goals by Milligan marked the most goals Reinhardt has given up in a single game this season. Your Buffs will be back in action Saturday at home for another AAC matchup against Montreat. Game time is 7 p.m. And that's what's going on in sports.
Thanks, Kayla. Coming up next, Buff Nation Crush Station is revealed. More Stampede is after this.
2 national championships in 1 year. It was the first time it had ever happened before.
It was kind of one of those surreal moments, like at the time you don't really realize, the magnitude of what you've done.
When one person has an accomplishment, we all celebrate, because we're in this together. We are StampedeTV, Milligan's student-operated news source.
I used to think news is news. It's all the same, but it's not. There's a big difference between local broadcast news and cable news. See, local stations are part of my community, connecting me to local news, weather, and sports on every device. It makes sense. Get the news from the people I trust who actually live here. No agenda, no bias like on cable shout shows or social media, just facts. For news I can trust, I stay local. Support your local stations. Text TV to 52886 today.
You're watching Erin Donovan, Elijah Manchip, Kayla Baker with sports, and the rest of your StampedeTV team.
You've probably heard on campus this week, who is Buff Nation Crush Station? Well, I sat down in an exclusive interview and found out who is behind the Twitter account.
So Milligan Twitter has been seeing Buff Crush everywhere, and everyone's been asking the question, who runs it? Well, StampedeTV got an exclusive interview with the gal that runs it. And I bet you're wondering who she is? Well, here she is.
Hi guys, I'm Emma Kate Brown.
So, now that we all have taken a moment to, I know her! So, first question is, how did you think of this Twitter?
Well, my hometown has a small college that did this too, and I remember my freshman year, I thought, wow, that would be really cool to do it for us, but it was my freshman year and I didn't know that many people, so I waited till now, and I was, honestly, don't tell anyone, but bored in chapel and decided to do it, and I'm surprised no one saw me, because I was like creating it, and I was like, okay, and just kind of like following my friends, looking around, and yeah, it just kind of blew up from there. So.
I love that. So, did you have any help in doing this, or was it just you?
It was really just me, and then one of my friends from home kind of gave me her number so no one would be able to like trace it back to me. And so a little bit of help, but not really. It was pretty much me. Yeah.
Major shout out to that friend. I'd never even would have thought of looking it up by the phone number. So in your bio, it says that no derogatory information. So how did you monitor like what tweets were appropriate or inappropriate?
I had some friends I did tell who I was. Like my roommate, Rachel, I would text her if I got something iffy, like kind of like, can I do this? Am I allowed to? And some I let pass that I don't know, probably stepped over the line once or twice, but other than that, really most people sent in good things. Like I didn't get many that I was like, I'm sorry, I can't. So that was Good job, Milligan College.
So do you plan to continue it now that your identity has been revealed, or?
I think that's up to y'all. If you guys would like me to continue it, I would love to, personally. I think it's a lot of fun. But if you feel like me being revealed who I am kind of takes away from the fun of it, then I understand and we can let it go. It's up to you guys.
Do you think this would have worked if you weren't anonymous from the start?
No. No.
What do you think of the Milligan Confessions page that started very shortly after you blew up?
I was very impressed that someone decided to do something again. I didn't actually follow it with my personal Twitter, so I don't know anything that goes on. But I was like, okay, maybe this can be move on from me and I can like let this pass to another person. So it was cool, I guess. Yeah.
Pass the baton?
Yes, yes. Perfect.
Would you, like, if you got any pushback, would you, like, after this comes out, I doubt you will, but in worst case scenario, would you still do it again?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I already have gotten a little bit of pushback, but it hasn't been bad. Like, it's been kind of, ooh, really? And I've been like, yeah. But people have tried to get me to tell who sent what, and I've tried to not give that away as much. Like, some people I trust and I'll be like, yeah, okay, it's not that bad. But I've been trying to like keep it still anonymous, so.
How did you keep, like, when people would be like, do you know who it is? I'm sure you got asked that. How did you keep that, like, to yourself?
Honestly, not many people ask me. Like, we'd talk about it around, but only once or twice did someone say, yeah, I kind of wonder who it was, and I just kind of sit back in the corner and try not to smile really, like, cheesy. But other than that, really, only one person on the Crushes page asked me who I was. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't think that, but only one person.
All right, just final question. Anything you want to add? Anything you want to say to your adoring fans? Anything like that?
Thank you for the wonderful fun it's been. It's been really cool to get to know, like, people I wouldn't have known on campus. It's been really cool to be like, yeah, and I see them walking by, I'm like, I know you. No, but other than that, thanks. Just thanks.
All right, exclusive interview concluded. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's all about Buff Nation Crustacean.
Now it's time to take you to a new attraction, minutes from campus.
Cindy Armstrong has more on the story.
Brian Winston purchased a dilapidated old building and gave it a new life and a new purpose. Local Motion, located right next to the head of the Tweetsie Trail, opened this past summer.
I think the inspiration came from myself as a cyclist. I wanted to throw out what I enjoy, what I love doing. We incorporated that into the walkers and the hikers on the trail as well as runners. So we wanted to bring a genre of different outdoor activities to the Tweetsie Trail that could utilize the space that we have here.
The shop has been growing and expanding, offering new services every day for both college students and Tweetsie Trail fans. Local Motion doesn't just offer merchandise, but safety as well for those who trek the trail alone. You can check in at Local Motion, leave your name, number, and estimated time on the trail, and then report back when you return.
That is just a small part of just being here on the trailhead and them being more confident, more comfortable, and for their safety on the trail.
College students are always welcomed by Brian and his employees.
We're here for them. If they need something, if they just wanted to come in and get an ice cream, if they wanted a cup of coffee.
Students receive a 10% discount all day, every day with the valid student ID. Stop in for a visit and maybe stay for a snack or a cup of coffee. Check out Local Motion online at www.localmotiontn.com, or you can follow them on Facebook or Instagram.
And that's all for this edition of Stampede TV.
For the latest news information, visit us online at milliganstampede.com.
Or check us out on our social medias.
For more news available in our print edition, it comes out on September 27th.
Thanks for watching. I'm Elijah Manship.
And I'm Erin Donovan. Join us again for our next newscast on October 19th. Have a great rest of your day.